This is the Mistress Carrie Situation Report for July 3rd, 2023. Your daily entertainment headlines, industry info, and everything rock. Avenged Sevenfold is headed to the Xfinity Center in Mansfield, Massachusetts on Wednesday, July 19th on their North American tour with Alexis on Fire. Get the link for more info and to get tickets in the show notes of this episode. It's been 19 years since Northside Kings Danny Marianino stepped into internet infamy with his one-punch knockout of Glenn Danzig in Tuba City, Arizona. 8 years after the incident, Danny, who had been riddled with message board comments and hate mail, turned them into comedy gold, releasing Don't Ever Punch a Rock Star, a collection of hate mail and other crazy rumors. In the 10 years since the independently published book hit the shelves, Danny has gone on to author several other books, and now DeWolf Publishing House has moved forward with a 10th anniversary edition of Don't Ever Punch a Rock Star, containing a bunch of new photos, news stories, and a foreword by Gloria Cavalera. Stone Sour's future is more uncertain than ever as Corey Taylor slams the band's, quote, hindrances. New comments from the lead singer suggest it's unlikely that Stone Sour is going to be back in action anytime soon, having been on hiatus since 2020 and Corey Taylor's solo career flourishing with a new album due in September. Corey Taylor said in a recent interview, "It's not that I don't miss some of the guys in Stone Sour. I still talk to them. But at this stage, I refuse to compromise my vision and my art because of certain people's hindrances, and that's all I'll say." Legendary Iron Maiden guitarist and avid angler Adrian Smith has now shared his lessons that he's learned from 40 years on the roads and rivers around the world. With the band's 2020 tour plans canceled because of COVID, the Maiden guitarist found the time to publish his own book on fishing called Monsters of River and Rock, My Life as Iron Maiden's Compulsive Angler. Drummer Mike Portnoy has attended his now second Dream Theater concert as a spectator. Showing up at the Met in Philadelphia on Saturday night, the 56-year-old drummer who left Dream Theater in 2010 took to his social media to share a selfie of him and his wife Marlene in the crowd in Philly, attending Dream Theater's Dream Sonic Tour with Devin Townsend and Animals as leaders, saying, quote, "Okay, this is slightly weird." Lynch Mob has announced a series of tour dates for this summer and early fall. The band, which currently includes legendary Dokken guitar player George Lynch, Jimmy DeAnda from Bullet Boys, tantric bassist Jaron Galino, and singer Gabriel Colon, will hit the road starting July 14th in Harrison, Ohio, and wrap up in Hallam, Pennsylvania on September 30th. Lynch Mob are also set to release a new studio album titled Babylon this fall. Madonna's loved ones fear for the Queen of Pop, saying that she danced herself into the ICU after trying to compete with younger stars like Taylor Swift and Pink. The 64-year-old legend had been pushing herself to her physical limit ahead of her much-anticipated Celebration tour, which led her to suddenly collapse and a multi-day intubation, according to insiders. Saying, quote, "She was working overtime, but she clearly burnt herself out, and people around her have been politely reminding her that she's not 45 anymore, let alone 25. Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose recently fell on stage during their concert on Friday night at Hyde Park in London. While performing Bad Obsession from Use Your Illusion, Axl was on stage during a rainstorm, walking backwards a little bit too quickly without looking. The 61-year-old quickly recovered from the fall, got back on his feet, and continued to sing the song. After completing the second song of the set, he pointed out how slippery the stage was and joked with a crowd of 60,000 people, "I don't want to jinx it, but hopefully I've got all the slip and sliding out of the way." M. Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold recently appeared on a podcast to discuss the initially polarized reception to the band's latest album, Life is But a Dream, saying, quote, "It's okay to hate this record." Saying, quote, "It's not really our job to figure it out. It's just our job to put something out that we totally back and appreciate." He continued, "But it's the best way to be because the people that hate it absolutely hate it. It's one of those things where in 2023, having a 0 out of 10 is actually better than anything you could ask for because people are talking. And it's a weird society we live in at this point. Avenged Sevenfold are on their North American tour in support of their latest album with Alexis on Fire. Elon Musk has joked on Twitter about the restrictions that got placed on users over the weekend, tweeting on July 1st that users were being limited to the number of tweets that they could see, saying, quote, to address extreme levels of data scraping and system manipulation, we've applied the following temporary limits. A few tweets later, Elon Musk began raising the limits, and in other tweets he wrote, quote, oh, the irony of hitting view limits due to complaining about view limits. Musk has not yet said how long the limits are going to last, but you can see his series of tweets and comments about the limits on his Twitter if you haven't reached your view limits. And that's your sit rep. For more details on all of the stories, check the links in the show notes of this episode. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Mistress Carrie Podcast. New full-length episodes come out every Wednesday. Episode 160, featuring Marty O'Brien from Daughtry, is available now.
It's always the right time deal.
Hey, want to go to Mickey D's for lunch?
Ooh, let's go now.
But it's not lunchtime yet.
If we're going to McDonald's, it's always the right time.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that.
There's a deal for every lunch hour at McDonald's.
Now's the time to get 2 for $3.99. Mix and match a 4-piece McNuggets, a McDouble, a McChicken, or a hot and spicy McChicken. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.